दृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिमाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Now before I go into before I go into verse 34, I would like to talk about this Pancha Mahayagnas, because somebody requested me to tell in little detail. So I will talk little in detail about Pancha Mahayagnas, because we have discussed, Nitya Karma and Kamya Karma, and the people who are really pursuing moksha. As such also, other people also should do Pancha Mahayagnas on a regular basis. But the people who are really working for moksha, let's say, they should do this Pancha Mahayagnas, and that stands for all Nitya Karmas. It covers everything, this Pancha Mahayagnas. So I will give you a little detail about the Pancha Mahayagnas. So you see this, the Deva Yajna, the very first thing is Deva Yajna, and this Deva Yajna is nothing but the worship of Lord in any form is called Deva Yajna. It may be in a form of a ritualistic sacrifice, that is called Yajna, or it may be in the form of a puja, or in front of idol or a photo or whatever, and it can be in the form of a japa, repetition of the name of the Lord. It can be in the form of a temple visit. I am giving you the detail of this Deva Yajna. It can be in the form of a service to the temple, by giving your time, little energy or other resources. So all this come under Deva Yajna, or service to the Lord, offering to the Lord. The Yajna means an offering, and that is here service. And it is not, Deva Yajna is not meant for money, because there will not, we don't seek any benefit visibly or tangibly from this. And people generally, it happens so. For Deva Yajna, I would like to tell few things. When we don't have, when we have enough time, and then we feel that we should do such kind of a things. So let's say I don't have a job, suppose an example, I don't have a job, and then I'm totally idle. Then what should I do? Then say let's do this kind of service to the temple, etc. Well, that is not going to happen. It should be a part of your daily activity. And what happens is then we, if by chance if we become busy, again I get a job, etc., then the very first activity which I drop is this. Doing puja I will drop first, or doing japa I will drop first, or doing our going to the temple I will drop first. So this is what happens is we generally drop whenever we get busy, and the very first thing we drop is this Devi Yajna. It should be a part of our daily activity. So this Devi Yajna is like this. Second is a Pitru Yajna. So in Devi Yajna I have told you 5 or 6 things. You can see something related to that also. There is nothing big deal in this. Then the second is a Pitru Yajna. So worship of our parents and forefathers. So if the parents are alive, then respect them, take care of them, etc. And daily one should offer namaskara, etc. to the parents. So the Bhagavad taught in Ramayana, he taught like this. Rama offers that prostrations to his father, King Dasharatha, and even when of course the king asked him to go to the forest, he offered his prostration and then went. Similarly, when Bharata comes to the forest to take him back to the Ayodhya, at that time also Rama conveys his reverence to his mother Kaikeyi, who was instrumental in sending Rama to the forest. So, or to whom the whole world hated, but Rama did not forget to offer the prostrations to her. And so this unconditional reverence to the parents is necessary, which is called Pitru Yajna, unconditional. And that is why in our Veda, especially, and in Taittiriya also it is there, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, etc. is indicating that thing. Now that is about parents. And suppose the other forefathers are there, alive or dead, whatever, that they also should be treated with the reverence. And scripture describes a certain type of ceremonies to be performed on special days. And all these ceremonies come under Pitru Yajnas. All our Tarpanam, etc., Shraddha, etc. also come under this Pitru Yajna. And they are compulsory, by the way. So this is also be generally sacrificed. Nowadays, Shraddha and Tarpana also, they are sacrificing, and that's not correct. So this Pitru Yajna is a second Mahayajna, which also come under this, Nitya Karma. Third is a Brahma Yajna. So worship of the scriptures and the rishis who have given us the scriptures is called Brahma Yajna. So Brahma Yajna has 2 portions. The Veda Yajna, service to the Veda, service to the scriptures, and Rishi Yajna, service to the rishis. Both include, and that will be called Brahma Yajna. And what is this worship? What are we doing in this Brahma Yajna? Generally, we do a Saraswati Pujanam, that you must be knowing. Once in a year we do Saraswati Pujanam. We worship our text, etc. We do certain puja of especially Saraswati Puja is done on the previous day of Dashera, Vijayadashmi. And we have to ensure that our books, are treated properly. That's there, but to show our respect, etc., to the scriptures we do. But that is not enough. What is the content of the book? We have to do a Parayanam of it. That's the first Brahma Yajna. Parayanam means a regular reading of the scriptures, preferably with the knowledge of the meaning. Then if we do not know the meaning of the scriptures, our involvement will be less. So it's better, suppose if you know a meaning of the verse in Bhagavad Gita, and then you do Parayanam of a 1 Adhyaya, let's say, or a few verses of a 1 Adhyaya daily, that is also called a Brahma Yajna. And then definitely And such kind of a paranama helps in building the respect for the scriptures. So the paranam is a very, very important Brahma Yajna. It has been considered that way. And we are doing even this in our tradition now also. As a part of our tradition, always, on some occasions, there will be always a paranam. Well, in the past it was, such a reading was very common, but it has now becoming less. So, suppose you say, I cannot read scriptures, I cannot do paranam, etc. So, in case, paranam can be done by anybody, but suppose somebody says, then worshipping and remembering the rishis also is considered Brahma Yajna. That's how I said Brahma Yajna has two parts. One is a Rishi Yajna, other is a Veda Yajna or Shastra Yajna. Service to the Shastra, scriptures, service to the Rishis. And service to the Rishis means we cannot serve him because they are not around. But remembering them and worshipping them is called so Brahma Yajna. How do we worship Rishis? So before any japa or paranam, the preparatory steps are there in which involves the remembrance of the respective Rishi. Like I tell you in Gayatri, if somebody does a Gayatri japa, then he remembers that very well. Before Asya Gayatri Mahamantrasya Vishwamitra Rishihi, they put also hand on the head, because Rishis have mantra drashtara. So Rishis have seen the mantras, of course, in the deep meditation, etc. And therefore Rishis remembering while we put our hand on the head. So Asya Gayatri Mahamantrasya Vishwamitra Rishihi Nirchit Gayatri Chandaha Adityo Devata, like that. So every Paranam has this kind of a thing, and remembering the Rishis and taking their grace and etc. We then do Paranam or Japa, etc. Then another Brahma Yajna also is there, like promotional of scriptural studies is also Brahma Yajna. So one should study and teach, or help others study and teach, is also Brahma Yajna. So you study and teach, or you help others so that they can also study or they can teach. So that all is considered, any way you promote Shastra, that's all. Any way you promote Shastra is called Brahma Yajna. So very unfortunate thing in India is today many Pathshalas are, closing down, because most of the people do not know the importance of the scriptures. So, and their very common argument is, instead of giving in Pathshalas, we should support orphanage houses. They say like that. Well, which is very unfortunate thing. One Mahayajna cannot replace another Mahayajna. Well, helping orphanage children, etc. it is coming under Manushya Yajna or Nru Yajna. This is a different type of a Yajna, and one cannot displace this thing, but people are somehow, and its situation has arisen to the extent that orphanage houses are now flooded with the funds and everything. So they say no now. So that is what is happening anyway. So helping the Pathshalas, Vedic Pathshalas also, many Pathshalas are closing down because they don't have funds. The teacher says, how will enroll the students? There are some students who want to join, but then they should be supported. Anyway, so one Mahayajna cannot replace other Mahayajna, and so donating to orphanage houses is wonderful, but then that cannot replace Brahma Yajna. Nru Yajna cannot replace Brahma Yajna, Brahma Yajna cannot displace this Nru Yajna. And each one has its important place. So like them, they give an example while eating, like, the rice is important, but rice alone is not sufficient. You require some proteins, minerals and vitamins, etc. Similarly, society requires all types of contribution. So to contribute just to one thing alone is not correct. And so all the 5 Mahayajnas it's a contribution, the contributions to the various parts of the society. And therefore all are important. Anyway, so a person may do one or other, one or more, one may do more of a one and the other less, etc. That could be possible. but it should be supported in all aspects. Anyway, this is a third yajna, Brahma yajna. Fourth is a Manushya yajna. And this is a worship or a service to the humanity. And so all types of social services, will come under this category. And so many people are thinking this Manushya yajna is enough. Then Gujarati, they always say Jana Seva, Prabhu Seva. But Jana Seva. Jana Seva means Manushya Seva. So Manushya yajna is enough. We should not support to anybody else. Brahma yajna, Pitru yajna, Deva yajna, they even say, rather than worshipping God, etc., better do this Nru yajna. Why are you going to temple and supporting them? There is no need. They are wasting money. In fact, all these priests are wasting money and, all these materials, etc. It's all wastage. And it's better to, rather than doing Abhishekam with the milk, etc., on the Lord, give that milk to orphanage children. They don't have. But who says you don't give? You give, but you offer here also. By just offering, you will not be having scarcity. And so, but people, they somehow they are allergic when they see offering to the Lord, etc., and they cannot stand it. Anyway, when you offer to the Lord, it does not mean you cannot offer to other places. Why you are saying that it's a very immature conclusion on the part of the person to say that we should not give it there and should. You give it there also. Why are you hesitating there? Well, but anyway, so there is a general question that everywhere, should we spend so much money on temples or not, etc., on the ornaments of the Lord, etc. Why can't we feed the poor children instead of offering to the temple, etc.? Well, that's not a criteria. So we don't say the poor children cannot be fed, but to argue, like this kind of a thing, that temples and pathshalas should be closed and other only this kind of orphanage houses, etc., should be only supported, is not fair. In fact, now in India, all orphanage homes and the blind schools and all, they have so much of fun that they are really saying no sometimes. Suppose my birthday is there, and I feel that rather than doing any kind of a service to the temple, let me go to the orphanage house and let me feed the poor children. But when I have seen that, I have seen that already the children are fed so much. Then I asked, what kind of a food do you offer? They say out of 365 days, Swamiji, we are offering 350 days sweets and everything. I said, why? He said, daily we have 2 or 3 this kind of promotions are there. That from our side, this is a lunch. From our side, this is a dinner. So what can we do? We have so much of funds. We get so much of donations for feeding the children. Very clearly that manager told me. And that is situation in all orphanage homes or blind schools or other schools. They get lot of funds. And the other side, these pathshalas, etc., are suffering. Certain temples are suffering. Well, this is very, very pathetic situation. So that is why I am discussing this Panchamaha Yajna. I mean, everyone should have a contribution. Pathshala, etc., which is a Brahma Yajna, it should have also a contribution, etc. Or the Devi Yajna means the temple should be have some kind of a support. And this is Nru Yajna. So, and that is how, one of the argument against Hinduism is this, that Hinduism does not include social service. This is the general impression created, in the society, and we have to learn from other religions, especially Christianity, etc. All that the service to the people. We have to learn from them. You can see here now. This has been talked in the Veda. I mean, every component of the society should be supported. This Panchamahayagna has been talked in Taittiriya Aranyaka. Not one component, all the components in the society, and this is Nitya Karma, should be done daily. So anyway, but we need to remember that we have a lot of things in the Veda itself which instruct us to take care of. But the only problem is Hindus do not follow this injunction. So it is not a defect in a dharma actually, but it's a defect of the followers. So even though in other religions, whatever they say as a commandment, well, they will follow. Even in Quran, whatever they say, or in Bible they say, they immediately follow. But in Veda, if they say something like this social service and this service and that service, they won't bother at all. And then they complain that Hindu dharmas, they don't talk about service. Our whole religion is based on the service. Where is the question? Without this Panchamaha Yajnas, etc. in one's life, one cannot achieve any Purushartha. But anyway, this is the impression created. So if everyone takes care of this, even simple Manushya Yajna, if we take care of, there will not be a poverty. So while cultural deterioration is because of absence of a Brahma Yajna, social deterioration is because of the absence of a Manushya Yajna. Anyway, this is the fourth one, Manushya Yajna or Nru Yajna they call. And the fifth one is Bhuta Yajna. This is worship of and service to all other living beings. And this includes animals and birds and plants and forest and the aquatic creatures, etc. In nutshells, it means respect for towards life. That's all it means. And vegetarianism is also a part of Bhuta Yajna. So, because I don't want to kill animals to satisfy my taste buds. And therefore, vegetarianism also becomes a part of Bhuta Yajna. And we know these elephants are killed, merely for sake of their tusk, I think, which serve as a decorative purpose. Rhinos are killed. Even 2 days ago, only one rhino was killed, and and their horn has been taken away. And more than that, they are killed, and sometimes they are killed in a so cruel way that I cannot even describe to you. So anyway, and we should understand that by killing all these animals and etc., we are really destroying the balance in the nature. Nature is so delicately balanced, and so if we tamper with the nature, killing these living beings and other living beings, it will lead to several problems. And so that is how nowadays they talk about ecology also is developed at a very important science in the recent past. And all this, global meetings, etc. take place and nowadays. But Vedas have already seen this kind of, to balance the ecology. Then if you do this kind of a yajnas, Panchamaha Yajnas on a daily basis, and suppose think that everyone is doing, we need not have an issue of ecology at all. But anyway, so, and many gods also, they have, their vahanas as, the animals as their vahana. So when we worship that god, we indirectly worship these animals. That is also Bhuta Yajna. Automatically, the animals get a status of a worship because chosen by a particular god. So, and other things are also there. We feed the crows, before we take or cows also before we take the. People sometimes, put, certain flour, etc. to the, and wherever their ant hills are there, they put that thing also. This also is a Bhuta Yajna. And there is a ritualistic type of Bhuta Yajna also is there, but we need not have to worry about that. We can just take care of these Panchamaha Yajnas, and that is sufficient for our own thing. Only thing is, this is a Nitya Karma. So what happens in a Grasthashrama, initially a person has married definitely, and he needs money, etc. And therefore Kamya Karmas are very important. In fact, that's a predominance. And the Nitya Karmas, of course, he can do in this way. But later on, as he earns money, etc., and his family gets settled little, then in his life, predominance of Nitya Karma only should be there. Grasthashrama is a Karma Pradhana, but in the later Grasthashrama, the Nitya Karmas only should have a predominance. Kamya Karmas, because many Kamanas, etc., of money, etc., has been fulfilled partly. And therefore, if he really wants to have moksha, etc., and he should be ready for the other ashramas as such, need not change the dress, etc., but should be ready in terms of a maturity, then he should give a predominance of nitya karma. So in grihasthashrama, early part is kamya karma pradhana and nitya karma may be little subsidiary. Later part, nitya karma becomes predominant and kamya karma should be reduced to minimum. Then only, you can neutralize raga dveshas. So person need not leave the karma. Person can perform the karma, nitya karmas, and so pratyavaya he can keep it away. And kama karma he can make it, almost nil. And then definitely this person, and with the shravana mananam, etc., need not even take a sannyasa. And most of the grihasthas have not taken sannyasa, and still they have gained knowledge and moksha, etc. If you look into Vamsha Brahmanam, or if you look into Bhagavad Gita itself, both the teacher and the student, both are Mahagrihastha. And Bhagavan and Arjuna understood everything, and even remaining a Grihastha. So sannyasa as such has not, as an ashrama it is not that important. So both people can gain moksha. Sannyasi also by doing Shravana Mananam can gain moksha, and the person, the grihasthashrama, keeping the priority of a nitya karma, he and doing Shravana Mananam, of course, he also can gain a moksha. So he can become a karma yogi. By doing nitya karma means kama karma is not there, then those karmas which are offered to the society are karma yoga itself. And so he can keep pratyavaya away and doing Shravana Mananam, and therefore no obstacles, and he can gain moksha. And the sannyasi who is committed to Shravana Mananam also can gain moksha. Both can gain moksha. There is nothing like that only sannyasis who commit themselves to Shastra can gain moksha. So this is how Bhagavan looks into Bhagavad Gita like that. In chapter 5 also he says that rather than giving up a karma, it's better one takes up a life of a karma yoga. Very clearly he said in the very initial verses itself. Karma yoga is better than karma sannyasa. He clearly told. That is because karma yoga is there, then definitely this kind of nitya karmas would be there. Pratyavaya would be away, obstacles would be less, and the person will gain moksha. And if pratyavayas are there, and person has not performed nitya karma and gives up karma sannyasa now, then the obstacles will not go. And those obstacles will not allow this person who is a sannyasi, will not allow that person to pursue moksha. Even if doesn't Shravanam, Mananam, etc., but will not be fruitful. So most important thing is this nitya karma's role of a nitya karma. And that's how it is looked upon like this. So Puja Swamiji always explains, who is adhikari for moksha. And he explains like this. Karma yogi also is adhikari, and it is sannyasi also adhikari. But this is how the karma yogi who performs this karma. And of course, Shravana Mananam is required, because without that, how the moksha will begin? Because one has to get rid of ignorance and the notions, confusions, and therefore Shravana Mananam is required. But then one continues along with that nitya karmas, so that pratyavayas will remain away. And Bhagavan admires such a karma yogi in 3rd chapter, in the 5th chapter, etc. He admired so much. Anyway, now let's go to verse 34. Akirtincha bhutani kathayishyanti te vyayam sambhavitasya cha kirtihi maranadatirichyate. Apicha, moreover, bhutani, people, kathayishyanti, will tell or will impute. Kathayanti means tell. Kathayishyanti will tell. It's a future tense. This sya, whenever sya comes in between, it indicates a future tense. So kathayishyanti means they will impute, they will tell. What? Te means your avyayam akirtim, your permanent infamy. Sambhavitasya, for a person who has been honored, Akirtihi, this infame, atirichyate is worse. Worse than what? Maranat, than death. So what's the meaning? Moreover, people will impute permanent infamy to you. For a person who has been honored, infamy is even worse than the death. This is the meaning. So apicha, because already in verse 33, Bhagavan has explained him, Athachet tvam imam dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi tatasva dharmam kirtincha hitva papam vapsasi. Well, you will incur papam, etc. And we have seen that. And you will lose the fame, etc. And you will lose the dharma, etc. etc. These all things has been told there. Apicha, so means moreover this also will happen. That's what Bhagavan is telling now. And as another argument. So after having this, we have seen that in this, the whole chapter, Bhagavan is giving these three views. Either one is a philosophical view, the second is the ethical view. And after discussing these two views, now Bhagavan is coming down to this laukika drishti. So empirical drishti, pragmatic, we call as a pragmatic angle or a worldly angle. So some people may say that, let's say I don't believe in dharma, etc. So I don't believe in this punya papa, etc. Well, in the present society, these things are there. Of course, Arjuna believes, but keeping Arjuna as a scapegoat, we tell them. Let's suppose Arjuna does not believe. Suppose he believes in dharma and everything, but let's say that through him we want to even discuss this point also. That's in the present society, because punya papa, happens to be adrishtam. Adrishtam is which cannot be perceived by a sense organs, which cannot be experimentally demonstrated. And in that case, even with a telescope or microscope, nobody can see punyam or papam. So, and therefore, definitely, since you can't see them, you can't prove it, you can't demonstrate them, so not available for any kind of a scientific instruments or experiments, then only through Shastra Pramana we'll know all this. And so definitely people may argue that I don't believe in this Punya Papa and thereby Swarga Naraka, etc. And therefore you said you kill these people and therefore I will go to Swarga, etc. But I don't believe in at all. I don't believe at all. And you said you will incur papam also, even if you don't want to go to Swarga. You won't do this, this is a dharma for you. It's a daily duty. It's a nitya karma for you. Therefore, you incur pap. Nitya karma means as a duty for a kshatriya. As a kshatriya, it is a duty, varnashram dharma. And therefore, definitely, you will incur papam. Well, I don't believe in punya papam. I don't believe in swarga naraka. Then what? Then Bhagavan says, still you have to fight. So that's a pragmatic point of view. Not from the dharmic drishti, not from the adhyatmik drishti, philosophical angle, not from this dharmika angle also. That is from this, or not from the ethical point, but it is only from this pragmatic standpoint. Bhagavan is telling to Arjuna that you have to fight the war. Suppose in case if you say, I don't believe in all these things, still you have to fight, because if you don't fight, your status in the society, definitely your value in the society, respect in the society, that respect that you enjoy in the society will come down. And so your name and fame, you will lose your name and fame. And this really is a very big issue, After all, most of the people are interested in this social status. So all the time, all are worried about it, our social status. And how the other people will always, think about me. And most of the time people will say that, what will others think? What will others think? And here that may not be the case, but in India it is a very big issue. But what will others think? And when even a son or daughter, in India, I don't take, what I'm going to say, don't take it for here. When a son or daughter, does not want to get married, then the parents won't go to the function. Because suppose one son is there, one daughter is there, and both say, no, we don't want to marry. Then they feel so much shame that they don't go any function. Because when they go, and then the other people will ask, what happened to, did your son marry or not, etc. Or did your daughter get ready for this or not? They could not answer. They could not answer. And therefore, rather than facing the questions, they won't go. And or the other situation, son or daughter get married, but to a person whom he should not have married. Like religiously some other person, let's say, some Muslim or something. I'm just telling in general. Then they feel so much. They feel that their social status has gone. One person told very clearly, Swamiji, that we belong to a so-and-so family, very well-known family. And we belong to such a family, and well, generations after generations, we have lived a life of dharma. We have lived through our life of through the family values. We have from generations to generation we have preserved. And my son has spoiled everything. He is married to a Muslim boy, etc., etc. But that's all. And both that husband and wife stopped going to any function. No temple function, no social function. They never go. For many years they have not come to any kind of function, just because their son has done this. So, the social status, etc., is a very, very big thing in India, of course. What the people will think, now what the people will talk about, etc., etc. So, this is a social standing. It's a very big botheration there. And therefore, Arjuna, you are a Kshatriya. For name and fame is a very big thing for you. And definitely, Kshatriyas will kill themselves for name and fame. Always, if anything happens to their name or fame, even a black dot occurs in there, they cannot stand. Therefore, Arjuna, forget about dharma. Forget about Atma does not get killed, and philosophical angle also forget. Forget about Swarga you won't get, etc. That also I don't care. And forget about the papam you will incur by not doing your varnashram dharma also. That also if you are not believing. That's not that case, but we are telling from our standpoint. Even if you are not believing, you are simply a pragmatic person who believes in what is in the front, what is perceived by the sense organs. Still, as a Kshatriya, and looking at your own name and fame, you should not do this withdrawing from the war. So, think of your social status. That's what it means. So, Bhagavan argues to Arjuna that you have got a name and fame. You are considered the greatest warrior in the world. Not only you have won so much laurels, and on the earth, even Indra was calling for his assistance. So you have gone to Devaloka also several times and fight wars for Indra. So all these glories you have, and now if you had decided that I will not fight the war, it would have been okay if you would not have come to the battlefield. That would have been a different situation. But now you have decided to fight, and you come in front also. You came in front, and now last moment you are withdrawing from this. Well, that's not fair. So then the people will definitely talk about you. That moment Arjuna saw all these people, and then he could not stand. Puja Swami used to tell that Bhagavan established the Arjuna's chariot in front of some warriors, and then he withdrew. This, suppose Arjuna withdrew from the battlefield. Then from the opponent, the two warriors were talking to each other. One warrior was telling to other, do you know what? That he says, don't tell to anybody. But when Arjuna came in front of me in the chariot, when Krishna established, and he came in front of me, and I just looked into his eyes, and but that's enough. And then he could not stand, and immediately he withdrew. Then he tells also to other warrior, don't tell to anybody, but that's the truth of the thing. That he withdrew because I was there. And Puja Swamiji at other place, he said that the other warrior has done like this much. And that's all. Arjuna was so much scared, and then he withdrew. Anyway, so even though Arjuna may think that it is out of compassion and reverence for Bhishma and Drona, he is withdrawing, but society is not going to say that way. Pranam vapi parityajya manam evapi Rakshandhuhu anitya bhavati pranaha manastu achandra tarakam. Very beautifully said in one place. Pranam vapi parityajya manam evapi rakshandhuhu anitya bhavati pranaha manastu achandra tarakam. Well, honor of the individual is more important than life. Pranam means life, basically. Parityajya manam evapi rakshandu. The warriors, etc., who are in the duty of protecting others, they give importance to manam. Manam means their honor. Pranam vapi parityajya. They want to even give up their life. Anitya bhavati prana. They think like this. Pranaha anityaha bhavati. This life is, momentary. Manastu achandra tarakam. This honor will remain for generations. And this is what it is really. You think about Yudhishthira. People are talking now about Yudhishthira after 5,000 years. If person in a society does not follow dharma, nobody bothers. But a person follows dharma and gains a certain name as a dharmika, and if he even speaks a little half truth and half this way, Yudhishthira, people are giving his example today after 5,000 years. And that is how this thing is. And that is why most of the people speak, speaking lie is our next nature. People just speak lie. But Yudhishthira speak throughout the truth. At one place he spoke only half truth and half lie, etc. Well, after 5,000 years still he is facing that. That is the situation. That's how they say, Manastu achandra tarakam. Our generations after generation, that dishonor will continue. Life may be of 100 years, but this dishonor may continue for 5,000 years. This is the situation. And to the people who are dharmikas, they gain name as a dharmika, though. Otherwise, speaking lie is a very rampant. But then nobody bothers about that this person has spoken lie. Nobody bothers. But if you gain a name that you are always speaking a truth, then you will lose the name if you withdraw from it or you swear from that. So, and I can quote some examples also for that. Lot of children study in the schools, and this boy he is a very, very clever, very brilliant boy, and all were telling that he will come, in a rank he will come the first. And unfortunately, when the results were declared, he got a second rank. Of course, good percentage, percentile, etc. But then got a second rank, not first. That's enough. That boy committed suicide. Ayo. Just because, see, we can understand that because he got a reputation like that, he is the most brilliant boy, and therefore definitely he will come the first in rank in the entire state or whatever. In India, they describe that way. And then he got a second rank. That's enough. He got so much. 3 days, parents consoled him that it's okay. What to worry? Ultimately, you are going to get admission in medical college, beautiful, good medical college, etc. You have so much percentage. But this boy could not get consoled. In business, I tell you the very recent example. There is one chain of this is a public thing, so we need not have to worry about. One chain of restaurants, I think small restaurants called Coffee Day in India, and the owner of this Coffee Day, it was based in Bangalore, and I think the business was running so well. He created an empire. I think around 8,000 crores of turnover, yearly turnover. And he was opening, this coffee days in various cities in India. And not only in area-wise, in a single city also, because small restaurants. So in all the areas also, in big cities, several areas he has opened, so many. And in the process, he took a lot of loans and everything, and something happened, some imbalance. So he could not repay the loans in time, etc. And he has already earned a very good name, that owner of a coffee day, this and that, and he's a very successful entrepreneur and all that. And he could not repay the loans. He tried several ways, but he could not stand the pressure and that pressure from the people. And before, I think 2 years, or yeah, maybe 2 years, yeah, he near the Bangalore or near Mangalore, somewhere he went with his driver, and he told the driver to stop the car, and he said, I will take a walk on the bridge. There was a very nice bridge on the river. So he said, I will just take a little walk, and then I will come, and then we will go back. And he did not return. And driver was moving around, and then by the time sunset occurred, and he thought, well, because walking on the bridge is, well, take only 15-20 minutes and he should come back, but he did not come. And they could not find him because the river was he jumped into the river. The person, the businessman, so successful businessman, but has earned name, but he could not stand a little loss in business or etc. Well, so this is how it is. The people who already gained some fame, and when they withdraw from it or they get a failure, they cannot stand it. So Bhagavan is telling to Arjuna also, Bhutani akirtim kathashyanti. So I mean, Bhagavan is as though telling, do you want to live with this life of apamanam, insult, that such a great warrior has withdrawn, or do you want to fight and sacrifice your life? Think of, like that Bhagavan is telling. So Bhutani akirtim kathashyanti, all the people will talk, insulting you, criticizing you, including rumors also. Definitely, rumors will all be there. Akirtim includes everything. Akirti means as insult, criticism, rumor, everything. And Avyayam Akirtim, Bhagavan says, Avyayam, they will give you a permanent infamy. Yeah, like Yudhishthira, I gave you example. So it will be passed from generations to generations. So if you are unknown in the world, well, whatever happens, nobody bothers. But you are Sambhavitasya, well, you are having enjoyed a fame as the greatest warrior, the most courageous person, etc. And that person, most courageous person, is dropped from the war. He has dropped from the war, and that will bring a ill fame, and that will be marana tatirichyate. That is worse than the death for you. So better die than live with a ill fame. Bhagavan is as though telling to Arjuna. Let's go to verse 35. Bhayadranaduparatam mamsante tvam maharatha yeshanchatvam bahumatah bhutva yasyasi laghavam. Maharatha, great warriors, mamsante, will consider. Mandhatu is there. Mandhatu means to consider. Manyante means consider. Mamsante means will consider. I told you, sya comes in between. That's a future tense. So, Maharathaha mamsante, these great warriors will consider tvam, you, what? Uparatam, to have withdrawn. From where? Ranat, from this war. Out of what? Bhayat, out of fear. Bhutva bahumatah, having been honorable, yesham, to them, tvam yasyasi, you will come, laghavam, to disgrace. Means these great warriors, Bhagavan as though is showing, these Bhishma, Drona and all, these great warriors also will think of you, one who has withdrawn from the war, right? Uparatam means one who has withdrawn from the war out of fear. Bhayat ranat uparatam. So, withdrawn from the war out of fear. And bhutva bahumatah, having been honorable to such warriors, well, you will come to disgrace. I mean, you will. They will talk about you like this. Maharatha means Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, etc. Well, they all will say that the Pandavas were having a 7 Akshohinis army, and we were having 11 Akshvanis, and therefore, considering that itself, well, and we were not there in their paksha, we were not with them. Who will talk? Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, they are the Maharathas. They are the great warriors. They will talk within themselves like this, that we were not there with them, and our army was also so big compared to them, with 11 Akshvanis, and they were having 7 Akshvanis. 1 Akshvanis means, I think, 1,11,000, something like, I think, and I mean the soldiers, and then there is something also included, some horses and then elephants, etc. That's called Akshvani. But anyway, so considering all this thing, that we are not on their part, I mean not giving them support in the war, and our army was also so big, the Arjuna, that is how thought of dropping from this, because of out of fear he has dropped it. Well, nobody will talk about that you had so much compassion and reverence to both this Bhishma and Drona, and he has told all this, that we don't want the enjoyments after the victory, which are really, I mean, stained with the blood of this Bhishma Drona. Nobody will talk about it. Nobody will even think of it also. They will say this Arjuna is really a fearful person, and when the occasion arises, there itself he has gone away. But till the occasion was not there, he was moving around with the fame that, oh, he is a great warrior. And now the time has come to show his skills in the war, and that time we really come to know what he really deserves. I mean, what is his really the capacity. So this is what has been told in this. So nobody considers other way. They will think of this thing only. Even these Maharathas also. What about Duryodhana? Well, Duryodhana will not leave you. So Duryodhana, etc. what they will do has been told in the next verse. We'll just read the verse and then stop. Avachyavadam shabahu vadishyanti tavahitaham nindantastav samarthyam tato dukkhatarannu kim. We'll see this verse tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.